Jive Talkin with Shane D. 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 Welcome, one and all, back to another episode of the titillating, always titillating. People say, you use the word tits a lot. I can't help it. I use, I'll buy that for $1, tits, well, shit in my hat and call me Sally. I say that quite a bit. But back with another titillating episode of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo, episode number 12. And we are here. We have your comments ready to go from the last episode, and we have lots of tasty bits of news that we need to just dive into because, you know, the news waits for no man. We live in a 24-hour news cycle, so the news just keeps coming in. Even as I speak to you, hot new news is coming in hard and fast. This has to be just right out of the gate. There's the dear, sweet, wonderful Ronnie James Dio. Rest in peace, dear sir. Fantastic vocalist. Personally, my favorite when it comes to the Black Sabbath-y days. I do love Ozzy, but I love me some Ronnie James. I saw Ronnie James Dio twice. I saw him on the Dream Evil tour and the Lock Up the Wolves tour when I was a young lad growing up, and I absolutely love me some Ronnie James Dio. And it says here, official Ronnie James Dio documentary. It's about damn time. If you're not saying it in your own mind, I'm saying it for you. It's about damn time. Dio, Dreamers Never Die, to receive world premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival. I didn't know there was a film festival for that. I always thought the South by Southwest was like I guess they would play movies at it and stuff, right? But I thought it was like a big band thing that they did like in Austin, Texas or something. We'll get into this and see what it says here. Dio, Dreamers Never Die, the career-spanning documentary on the life and times of the legendary rock icon Ronnie James Dio, will receive its world premiere at this year's South by Southwest Film Festival. This year's South by Southwest will take place in, guess where? Where did I say it was going to be? Austin, Texas. Pardon me. Little cream soda got in the little throat part there. From March 11th to March 20th, with select films available online. Every film will have an in-person South by Southwest 2022 premiere as the festival readies for its first in-person edition since the pandemic. We're going to be hearing about this for years to come. Pandemic era and this era, that era. Was it pre or post? Cancellation in 2020. Most films will be available online to badge holders for 48 hours after their physical premieres. I would like to know, maybe this will say something about when it might be on Amazon or something like that. Dio, Dreamers Never Die is the first documentary about Dio to be fully authorized by the artist's estate. Is that Wendy Dio? According to the film's official description, it delves deep into the incredible rise from the 50s doo-wop crooner to his early classic rock days with Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, to replacing the iconic lead singer Ozzy Osbourne in the Black Sabbath band, to finally cement legend with Dio, with the band Dio. Ronnie's biography is completely unique to the tired sex, drugs, and rock and roll cliches. The film is about perseverance, dreams, and the power to believe in yourself. I always got that from Dio. And he's, I could have been a dreamer. You know, anything you got, you always got just a taste of overcoming the odds and triumph. And you know, he was an amazing man and an amazing singer and kind of a mystical person too. I don't know if he was a true gypsy or a demon witch or whatever, but he believed in magic. He loved it. Let's see the screenings. Dio, Dreamers Never Die screenings. Paramount Theater on March 17th. Online only on March 18th. I want to know when it's going to be somewheres where I can see it. Ronnie James Dio's story transcends the standard rock documentary set against the backdrop of Dio's autobiography, half finished by Ronnie before his untimely death of stomach cancer in 2010. The film chronicles the inspiring journey of his life, love, and storied career. whether playing sold-out stadiums or battling illness, his powerful voice and gentle heart, 100% gentle heart, lion's heart, have had a profound influence on his family, friends, and fans around the world, and I would be one of those fans. We got Wendy Dio here. What's she saying? Wendy Dio recently told Argentinian journalist Lucas Gordon about Dio Dreamers Never Die. I saw the first cut of it. It was very emotional. It's very different for Dio's autobiography, because the book finishes in 1986 with Ronnie playing Madison Square Gardens. But the documentary goes all the way through his life to the very end, and was very emotional. I was watching it with my publicist and and a person from BMG. What's that? Something music group. I can't remember. That's where I used to pay a penny for 10 cassettes, and then I'd never pay the, okay, well, you got to go buy 6 albums at full price. No, I never do that. Who are funding the documentary? And we all cried. It was very emotional. But it's really interesting, really good. Rob Halford is great in it. Oh, they got star-studded. Talking about story, Lita Ford and Jack Black, the comedy legend Jack Black is in it. Eddie Trunk. Oh, you can't have anything without Eddie Trunk getting in there, right? He likes to get in there and tell you the 411 on hard rock and I'm not trying to take Eddie Trunk's job by any means. So I don't want you guys to think, that I'm trying to steal what he does or anything else. I think in this universe of the internet and stuff that we can all have a little place, even if we're talking about the same things. If I want to talk about, whittling or something like that, there can be plenty of people that are doing whittling or music stuff or whatever. Mick Wall, author of Dio's autobiography, both kind of narrate it and everything. I'm very, very pleased with it. Oh, I must say that. So there you have that. Dio was renowned. What does it say here? Ronnie James Dio passed away of stomach cancer May 16th, 2010 at the age of 67. Get things checked out, people. I'll tell you that right now. If you feel a lump, you feel a bump, you're getting a pulse. Your body will tell you, something's not right. Don't just sit on it. Don't just wait around. Don't just maybe it'll pass. Because your body will say, this isn't just a headache that you got going on here, or this isn't just a tummy ache that you got. You didn't, unless you're like at the fair or something and you eat like 3 cotton candies or something and you get something, don't run to the doctor right then and there, but if it lasts for a while, you go get things checked out. And I'm also coming up on the colonoscopy situation. I'm not afraid of that. There's a lot of people out there say that no one will ever do that to me. You know what? If a doctor they say it's time. It's time. It's supposedly like 30 seconds it takes them. They stick a finger in there, they wiggle it around on the prostate and everything, and then they go, "You're good to go. We'll see you in another year or 5 years or whatever." But it's always good to get things checked out when you need to get them checked out. Dio was renowned throughout the world as one of the greatest and most influential vocalists in heavy metal history. The singer, who was recorded and touring with Black Sabbath offshoot Heaven and Hell prior to his illness, was diagnosed with, okay, we got it. You've mentioned that 3 times. So there you have that Ronnie James Dio documentary. I'm very excited. There was nothing in there about when I would be able to see it, but I can't wait to see it. Next up, Judas Priest are amped to be nominated for a 3rd time to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What do we think of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Is that prestigious? Iron Maiden doesn't seem to give a hoot about it. Gene Simmons doesn't want particular people in there. I said, that they shouldn't be in there. Hey, it all derives from the blues, Gene. You've even said that. I thought he said that in his book. So don't say that you get to be in there and someone else doesn't get to be in there. I don't know what to think of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't really care. And I don't, it's great when you see like legendary bands that you really like that are in there, but half the bands that I like will never be put in there. You think Slayer or, someone like that, Overkill, they're going to be in there? They're never going to. They get to go and pay the $7.99 to go in and look at the Kiss memorabilia. They don't get to be in there. So it's like, what is it really matter. But it says here, British heavy metal legends Judas Priest are amped to be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction for the third time. So they have not made it the other two times. Judas Priest was previously on the ballot for Rock Hall induction in 2020, but failed to receive enough votes to make that year's class. And I don't know how much I believe this voting thing, because I'm pretty sure that there's plenty enough people that would have voted if they care. Maybe that's it too. Judas Priest fans are like, I don't really care if they're in there, but they're amped, so you should go and do it. Go vote for him. On Wednesday, February 2nd, it was announced that Judas Priest is among the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2022. Inductees will be announced in May. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2022 induction ceremony will take place this fall. The date, venue, and on-sale information will be announced later. It's a cash grab, right, for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and people? I've heard, I can't remember, who was it? Steve Miller? I think there's a video online you can watch him at the ceremony going, this is kind of horse shit, that I'm inducted in, and then I've got to buy all the tickets at these astronomical prices for my friends and family to come and see me get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure it's Steve Miller. It could be somebody else, but I'm sure if you just typed in angry people at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you probably see a bunch of them. Inductees will be announced within hours of yesterday's announcement. Judas Priest took to the social medias to write, "We are amped to be nominated for the 2022 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame." You can vote every day. See, and Judas Priest has even told you can go vote every single day. And you can vote at vote.rockhall.com until April 29th of this year. Would you like to see Rob Halford and KK Downing and Glenn Timpton and Ian Hill and oh God, I always poo out on the Dave Holland. And you could induct Scott Travis, the other drummer too. He's been with him for 20 years or something, since I thought like Painkiller. But it says here, Judas Priest, they actually put that link out there so you could go vote. They want you to go vote. They're amped for this. You can vote every day at vote.rockhall.com until April 29th. Voting is capped at one ballot per day. So you can't do more than one a day. But if you're not a busy person and you don't have things to do and you've got a really good memory, you can wake up every morning before work and you can go there and vote for them if you'd like to see them get super amped when they're inducted in. And who will perform with them? What does this say? Earlier today, Priest singer Rob Halford released a video message. I hope that's on here. Hello, heavy metal metal maniacs. As Judas Priest continues to celebrate our ongoing 50th anniversary, we're absolutely thrilled and stoked and amped to be. It's just, please let there be the video. Oh, it's right here. Here we go.
Hello, heavy metal maniacs. As Judas Priest continues to celebrate our ongoing 50th anniversary, we're absolutely thrilled and stoked and amped to be nominated for the 2022 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so we know you, our beautiful heavy metal maniacs from all around the world, dominate the daily voting.
Daily voting.
It goes on from now until April the 29th, and get some more heavy metal into the hallowed halls of fame. Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't love that guy? For crying out loud, who doesn't love Rob Halford? Is that new, the nose ring? How old of a guy is he? I still have my earrings in. I've never taken them out. I've got a couple of earrings in that I've had in for probably 30 years. I just put these steel ones in and I set it and forget it. I'm not a guy that changes my earrings out every Saturday night. But the nose ring might be a little too late for that, right? You get the nice big bone in your nose or whatever, nice big ring in there. It might be just a little too late for that. It's like, Jesus, look at this guy. He's really trying to trying to do it. Next news up, Gene Simmons. You know this guy. He is the Gene Man. Rock legend from Kiss, Gene Simmons says he will accept cryptocurrency for sale of his Las Vegas Valley estate. Now, Rask, I want to say, or somebody was telling me you should check out, we did the Paul Stanley. We went through his house, kind of POV style. And I was going to do it. The problem is the only video that I could find that was really in-depth of Gene Simmons' Las Vegas house was with this guy, and he just yapping. He's like a real estate agent or something. And he just kept going on and on and on. And I was like, where's the bits where you shut up and I can just talk, You shut up so people will tell me to shut up, right? Let's see what Gene says about this. He's getting into the crypto world, man. Gene Simmons, he said it before, man. We'll sell you, everything from a colostomy bag to a goddamn coffin, baby. Everything. Condoms to coffins. Got the Kiss label on it. Kiss bassist, vocalist, rock icon, and serial entrepreneur, Gene Simmons, an early adopter of cryptocurrency. Oh, was he on there early? Announced today that he will accept cryptocurrency for the Las Vegas estate, which is currently on the market for $13.5 million. I can't do a very good Gene Simmons impression, but it's like this. I have been an outspoken proponent of cryptocurrency from the beginning. It is the future of money, and it just makes sense to offer interested parties the option of using cryptocurrency to purchase the estate. Well, that was pretty good. Simmons will accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Uniswap. What about Dogecoin? I got a little bit of Dogecoin. We don't like that? Apparently not. I lost my ass on it for sure. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Uniswap, Polkadot, Litecoin. A lot of these I haven't even heard of. Aave or Try, or a combination of those. So if you've got Ethereum and you've got some Bitcoin and you've got a little dab of Litecoin, he'll take a mixture. Simmons' modern desert mansion, and it is beautiful. It's an amazing looking house. You can go watch that video of the guy, and he's just blathering on. And he's a good salesman because I wanted to buy the house when I was halfway through watching the video because he's got some handsome, thin guy in a suit going, look at the gorgeous view. And and the light shines across and you can see the Sin City Strip. There's little Circus down there. And there's, Peppermint, the Peppermint Rhino too. You can go over there. Modern desert mansion located at 7 Talus Court. Well, that's good. They put the address in there. In prestigious Ascaya community in Henderson, just south of Las Vegas Strip, boasts breathtaking panoramic views of the Las Vegas Valley and the Strip, unlike anywhere else in southern Nevada. Expanding more than 11,000 square feet, the home is perched well above the valley and sits on nearly 1 acre, 2-parcel property with a private orchard adjacent to the house. Wee. Okay, is this the dude? Let's see.
But look back over here.
This dude.
That's your primary suite. That is cantilevered out over.
That is cantilevered. I mean, it's beautiful. I don't think Gene Simmons stayed a night in there. Let's see what he's gonna do. Jesus.
The beginning of the pool deck and the outdoor grill.
He's a good-looking dude.
How's welcoming you home? Like the fountain as the water pours in. It's just really, really pretty. And the landscaping here that I'm going to show you, mind-boggling. A lot of money was spent on the landscaping.
Yeah,
baby.
Really
important because we are, kind of on a moon, right? It's Vegas. We're out in the desert. Behind me, and I know your eyes are.
I mean, the guy he's a handsome man for one thing, and the other thing is I'd end up signing some paperwork. If he was walking me through there, I'd end up signing some paperwork, and they'd say, I don't have that kind of money. I don't have any money. But this guy's good enough that I feel like, and the house is beautiful enough that I feel like I'd get myself into a $3.5 million debt. So there you have that. But this is the dude right here, and he just goes for it.
Looking at it.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna zip through this video, and you can just hear it talking. Watch this.
Lighting plan. But this is such a cool moment. And you get to say you bought Gene Simmons' house. Like, if this house is good enough for that guy, it's good enough for you. Outdoor.
I mean, what, you know, if the guy was selling it to me, I'd say, you're goddamn right. If it's good enough for Gene Simmons, it's good enough for me. Next up, I wish these guys would just kiss. Get in bed naked together. Just get in bed together and just, you know, take off your blouses and your scarves and just roll around and romp around a little while, for crying out loud. Chris Jericho calls Sebastian Bach the perfect rock star. He checks every box and everything. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a bit snarky because they've had an ongoing feud, and maybe it'll talk about it. On the 27th episode of the album review crew of the Shout It Out Loud, Fozzy frontman and wrestling superstar Chris Jericho joined hosts Tom, Zeus, and Sonny to review the second album from Skid Row's 1991 Slave to the Grind. I think Chris Jericho, he's fairly nice guy for the most part, right? So he might be being a little snarky. I think Sebastian's the one that comes out with all the kind of rude stuff about Chris Jericho can't sing and he uses backing tracks. Speaking about Skid Row's untimely 1996 singer Sebastian Bach, Jericho said, as transcribed below by the blabbermouth, had there not been a complete sea change and shift in musical styles, and had Sebastian and the guys not completely broke up forever, they could have been a Guns N' Roses level. I don't think so. I don't think they could have gotten as big as Guns N' Roses. A Judas Priest level? No. Not an Iron Maiden level, not bands, because two reasons. One, dudes like us like the music, heavier guys like Pantera like the music, and here's the most important thing. You know what I'm going to say. The chicks love the music and they love Sebastian Bach, who, at the time, I used to say, if you could into a laboratory, okay, they messed that up. Blabbermouth, you messed it up. Or he skipped a word. If you could into a laboratory and you were a mad scientist and created the perfect rock star, Sebastian Bach would be the perfect rock star. All across the board. He checks every box and everything. Oh, he's kissing some ass. Does he want Sebastian to go, I take back all those things I say? I'm telling you. You tell me right now that Chris, with all the perfect rock star, get in bed. It's okay to make love to each other. The first Skid Row album picture, okay, this is him. He continues. The first Skid Row album picture aside, you look at the first Guns N' Roses album pictures, there was a lot of hairspray, all the sorts of stuff. But they had an East Coast Guns N' Roses vibe, where even though Sebastian Bach was pretty, he was tall. We know he was off his rocker because we heard the stories. Other guys looked pretty nutty. Rachel Bolan was very punk rock. They were pretty. They weren't pretty guys. Okay, he's just going to go on saying no one's pretty. And if he was on the show right now, he'd be laughing, saying, "I'm the ugliest guy ever." Best guy in the world, by the way. Snake and Rachel are just amazing guys. Okay, he's talking about Snake and Rachel. He's not talking about Sebastian. Less than 2 years ago, Bach blasted Jericho over alleging that the Fozzy frontman uses pre-recorded vocal tracks during the live performance. Did they touch on that? Bach initially accused Jericho of miming to a tape at Fozzy's concert on a social media post in July 2020. In response, the wrestler turned rocker insisted that he had never mimed anything and challenged Bach to a sing-off with no effect, no tuning, no bullshits. Bach doesn't do it because you can watch tons of video that people take at the concerts and he just gets up there and sings. There's no clicked out times or let's go 1, 2, 3 and go. It's just they play the songs. Boz is a great singer, but I'm better. That's what Jericho said. In the months that ensued, Bach brought up Jericho alleged lip syncing on several occasions, most recently in January 2021 in an interview where the Aquarian Weekly asked specifically about his feud with Chris. Sebastian said, "I have an open mind about everyone. If I read on blabbermouth.com that some band says we're the future of rock and roll and we are the next thing after the Rolling Stones, I think this must be incredible. What have I been missing out on?" So I check out one video during which the singer was 100% miming to a tape on stage. I mean, and he would know, right? He's up there on a stage, so he'd have a better guess at it that they're doing it than we are. I noticed that Sebastian Bach's a huge Kiss fan. He doesn't seem to. Has he mentioned anything about Paul Stanley doing it, or does he? He gives Jericho grief, but he doesn't give Paul. I don't want to read all this, especially because it says Nickelback in here. So I watched another video where he was opening up for Nickelback in an arena, and again he's miming to a tape. You can't go watch it you can go watch it for yourself. Then someone said, "Here's a clip of him singing live, legit, bro," and it's him miming to a tape again. It's crazy obvious. It is not my opinion, it's fact. Okay. I want to hear Jericho's response, but Bach also addressed the fact that Jericho accused him of having a less than original stage name after Sebastian slammed Jericho for copying the name of a Skid Row tour for Fozzy. "I switched a couple letters of my last name, Björk, who's Mongoose Queen." Bach asked. Mongoose Queen? I don't get any of this. Anyways, one more little quote thing here. "How about this? Professional wrestling sucks," he added. "Everyone wishes that they were a rock star. It's hilarious. Evidently, all you have to do is record a tape, go on stage, and jump around. You can jump off the drum riser and do jumping jacks. It doesn't matter if you are miming to a tape." Okay, we're done with that. I want them to get together. Go out for a nice, quiet dinner together. Have a nice, what's a good wine? Like a nice, if you're having like a big old plate of spaghetti, like a red wine, you sit down, you feed each other some spaghetti, like in that cartoon movie. You have a glass of wine, you say, "What are we going on about, Mr. Jericho? What are we doing here? Let's fuck instead. And then we can sing together and it will be great." Right? Next up, I hope this is a fantastic man here. Y&T Dave Meniketti to undergo critical medical procedures. Let's have a moment of good vibrations for him right now. Because I'm telling you, this Dave Meniketti, he made me cry at the concert. He is amazing. Amazing singer, amazing guitar player, amazing band. Y&T has rescheduled 2 shows due to frontman Dave Meniketti having to undergo an undisclosed critical medical procedure on February 11th. So it has not happened yet. We want him to get better as quickly as possible, by damn it. The good news here, though, is they only had to cancel 2 shows, or is that all the only shows that they had? We'll find out. The iconic Bay Area rockers announced the postponement in a statement on social media on Tuesday, February the 1st. The band said, "The Trace and Santa Cruz shows have been rescheduled, but for a different reason. Dave must have a critical medical procedure on February 11th. That's the soonest his doctor and the hospital are available. It's the only date this month, and it's important to do ASAP. He's then ordered to rest for the first 48 hours after the procedure, so the entire weekend is out for him." The good news I'm hearing here, though, is they're only canceling 2 dates, and the doctor's saying you're going to need to be out for 48 hours instead of 6 weeks, or we don't know when you can get back at it. Here's part of that statement. "We thank you for your understanding that Dave's health comes first. He very much looks forward to putting this necessity behind him and returning to the stage. Meanwhile, we all wish him the best." Meniketti is is this just, it's just a social media, but it's none of the... I like when they do the talking and the videoing. Meniketti is the only surviving member of Y&T lineup, known as Yesterday and Today, that recorded the band's self-titled debut album. Original Y&T rhythm guitarist Joey Alves, oh my God, everyone's dying, died in March 2017 at the age of 63. Two founding Y&T musicians, Hayes, 61, Kenmore, yes, Phil Kenmore, I think that was his name, 57, who both had left the lineup, died from complications of lung cancer. Kenmore on January 7, 2011, and Hayes, that's Leonard Hayes, right? The original drummer. He was kind of plump and out of shape, and he's in those the Summertime Girls videos and stuff. I always liked him. He always had that kind of, let's crack a beer and have a good time. But I did see Y&T with Jimmy DeGrasso on the drums for the Contagious tour. Original Y&T rhythm guitar. Okay, we're not going to read that again. Y&T's current lineup is rounded out by guitarist John Nyman. He's been around a long time. I think I saw him with when I saw Y&T at a smaller club some 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Drummer Mike Vanderhoel and bassist Aaron Lee. The band's latest studio album, Face Melter, came out in 2010 via Frontier. Yeah, they're way due for a new album. Plus, Face Melter was okay. I like those first albums, Black Tiger and Mean Streak and Contagious and stuff. So there you have that. We have one more story here, then we're going to get into your comments, and we're going to call it a day on the hot news portion of the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo, episode 12. I thought this was weird. Some 40 years later, Exodus singer Paul Baloff gets his own reaction figure from Super 7. Now, these guys are the ones that have done King Diamond, I know that. But the one thing I was looking at this image, it's like, this could be anybody. I think Paul Baloff wasn't quite as muscular as this is leading to believe, but that whole head and everything that they've got going on there, that looks like... oh, that's Bon Scott. Change it. Yeah, it's Bon Scott. They just changed the packaging. There's not a whole lot of detail in there. When you're doing action figures, you do Kiss, you do King Diamond, stuff like that. We go, I know who that is, but we love Paul Baloff and we love the Bonded by Blood album, but it just doesn't look. The picture on the package looks like him, where I'm like, okay, but the action figure itself is. Left a little to be desired there. Super 7 Toys have released a new Paul Baloff reaction figure in honor of the late Exodus frontman who passed away 20 years ago on February 2nd, 2002. Official figure description. This year marks the 20th anniversary of Paul Baloff's death. Baloff personified the violent energy of the early San Francisco Bay Area thrash metal scene of the 80s with the band Exodus on their Bonded by Blood album. Baloff's uncompromising lifestyle and attitude are immortalized with this 3.7-inch reaction figure. Comes with a microphone and a shattered baseball bat accessory. Did he used to club people? Hit him over the head? Get up on the front row and we'll clock you one. On January 31st, 2002, this podcast is really turning into like an obituary page. It's turned into, let's read the obituaries, even if they're 20 years old. On the 5th anniversary of Baloff's passing, guitarist Gary Holt stated about his late bandmate, his contribution to metal lives on. How else can you explain how a guy can record one album twice and still be remembered as a thrash legend to this very day? Yep. Because when they pulled old Zetro Souza in there for Pleasures of the Flesh, that's when I learned about Exodus, was on the Pleasures of the Flesh album, and then Fabulous Disaster album, and then I went back to Bonded by Blood. Like it quite a bit. Scott Ian says it is the classic master thrash album of all time, period. And it is a damn good album, but my love for the band grew from Pleasures of the Flesh with the Brain Dead and all that. Last year, Exodus guitarist Rick Hunnell told Heavy Culture about firing Bailoff and replacing him with Steve Zetro Souza before the release of 1987's Pleasures of the Flesh album. I think losing Paul was a big deal back then. I think that maybe we made a mistake by firing Paul, and this is just looking back on everything for me. This is what, you don't like Steve? Now you having second thoughts? This is just my personal thought. This is the stuff that I think about sometimes. What would have happened if we didn't fire Paul? I just think that maybe we would have gotten a little bit more traction if we didn't have that lag in between. Jesus, I hope Sousa doesn't read this. Did Steve Sousa do the vocals? I'm curious if he writes not the vocals, but writes the lyrics, because I'll tell you right now, what took these guys over the top was Toxic Waltz. When that hit Headbangers Ball, and the hit's a new dance, crazy sweeping the nation, it's got the Toxic Waltz. If that was Steve Sousa that came up with those catchy, fun, good, friendly, violent, fun lyrics, I don't see that Paul Bailoff would have come up with that. Maybe there wouldn't have been a Toxic Waltz, which wouldn't have made it to a Headbangers Ball. It's something to think about when you're laying in bed at night tonight, when you're naked, and you climb under the blankets and you're thinking about things, that winding down for the day, everything that's happened. I would say think about what would have happened if Paul Bailoff would have been stuck around. That's the only thing I can ask you to do. It is time for your comments. We got a bunch of old fogies in here. So let's get to it. Anthony Ferguson, who loves my theme music. Shane D, honestly, these theme songs are truly amazing. This is not a goof. I honestly love them. These theme songs, and you put a lot of heart into these theme songs. And your weekly news, I look forward to every week to see what you come up with. The songs are getting longer and better every week. You might be disappointed this week, Anthony. I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't feeling the energy or magic in this one, but and the one at the end was fantastic. I also love the theme song, and you are a master on the keyboard. A man of many talents. Please keep it up. Your channel loves you, and you keep the theme songs coming. This was your best yet. And please look into the Ace Frehley, Bruce Kulick, and Vinny the Fingers, Vincent Triple Bill show at upcoming Tennessee. What? I haven't heard anything about this. Wait, let me read that again. Please look into the Ace Frehley, Bruce Kulick, and Vinny the Fingers Vincent Triple Bill show at an upcoming Tennessee show. Can you do a deep dive into this show and give us the info on it? And will Vinny the Fingers Vincent show up? Wow, I would absolutely love to. By God, if it's the last thing I ever do, that's what I'll be doing. If there's video that surfaces of that. Vinny Vincent has this magical power to keep everyone's cameras out. He does those events where it's like cost you $1,000 to get in. So there's like 15 people there. And he makes all of the food. Like he does like a potluck, but he makes all the food. So he made like 5 different kind of salads, like potato salad and macaroni salad and a spinach salad and all this. And but you don't see a whole lot of video that pops up from there. So I'd be curious about that. I will check into that and see what's up with it. Bing, Anthony, there's your heart. Our buddy Rick Belk. And if you look at his picture here, he's wearing a Shane Diablo shirt, and he looks absolutely fantastic in it. It really brings out his eyes, his shoulders, and everything. Shane Diablo shirt right there. Looking good. I mean, I'm my mouth's watering. Rick, you just look good at it. I'm sorry. I'll chime in on Meatloaf. One, I grew up listening to Bat Out of Hell, 14 times platinum. Wow. Was one of those guys that you either dug or thought, how in the world would this guy get popular? Yeah. I've listened to my share of Heaven Can Wait. Yep. The last week or so, and saw someone post a comment that Heaven couldn't wait any longer. LOL. Yeah. Heaven can wait, and a band of angels in the end of time. I had myself a meatloaf morning. I told you about that last time. A morning of meatloaf morning. That's morning, MORNING, meatloaf, and then morning, MOUR, morning. Right? Very clever. On the name, the running over his head thing must be some urban legend. Yeah, because I read more stories about it, and I think, and what I heard was that he told a different story every time. Someone said, "Where'd you get the name Meatloaf?" The one thing I did learn is he hated it when someone would spell his name as one word, Meatloaf. He wanted to be Meat Loaf. He said in many interviews his dad nicknamed him Meat. When they brought him home from the hospital, and his football coach in middle school added the loaf. Yeah, I could see a coach doing that. You're not meat, you're a goddamn meatloaf full of bread and carbohydrates. It was when Marvin, yes, his given real first name, stepped on coach's foot by accident. Meatloaf was complete, and the rest is history. Honestly, not sure if he would have been successful without Todd Rundgren playing and producing, and of course Jim Steinman. Yeah, Jim Steinman, he did all the writing for that. Doing the writing, but like many collaborations, fate has a way of bringing together talents. Indeed, sir, indeed. Well said. Kaplingo. There's your, you're getting a thumb up too because you got that shirt on. Pling, you're getting a heart and a... Oh boy, Michael Espinoza coming in here. Our pal, aka SB, numero nuno. Been a huge fan since Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 1989 and heard Extremes playing with me. Yeah, he's put in a couple requests for some Extreme. As Genghis Khan runs wild in the San Dimas Mall. Extreme has always been one of my favorites. But I am indeed worried about the future of the group, as just last year they were talking about an Extreme album being almost done. Now I hope it hasn't morphed into Nuno's solo album and leaving Gary Sharon and Pat Badger in the dust. But we will see. Yes, you don't know. That Nuno Betancourt, he's doing all sorts of stuff. 2 solo projects and everything else, so... And didn't Gary Sharon, you might want to help me with this, but I want to say he did like a brief stint with Van Halen. Here's your heart, SB. Bango. There you go. And here we go. Miss Althea coming in. The dumbstruck fool says the mystery beat theme song is trending. What music genre will get to back up the lyrics? A little something extra to look forward to every week. R.I.P. Meatloaf and Louis Anderson. You can watch Louis Anderson's stand-up comedy from like the 80s. The whole thing is on YouTube, and I watched it again, and it's, he did a lot of stuff about being fat and his family and everything else, but that's what made him really funny. Meatloaf tribute tidbit, Ellen Foley was the female vocalist on the epic track Paradise by the Dashboard Light. But Carla DeVito, like the lady from Cheers, was the visual. Oh, that couldn't have been her, right? Oh, that's Rita DeVito or something, right? I got her on the brain because Carla was her name on Cheers, and DeVito but that's not her. The lady from Cheers is not in the video. In the early 80s, Carla went on to marry actor Robbie Benson, and they are still together today. Well, that's good to hear. Richie Kotzen, it's what's for dinner. What does that mean? You're in love? You think he's handsome? Remember that 1990s ad campaign? Why are they cheating stories about him so one-sided when Ricky Rocket's girl at the time was equally as guilty? True dat. They both did the connecting up, right? It takes 2 to tango, y'all. Or it takes 2 to make a thing go right. It takes 2 to make a thing go right. It takes 2 to make it out of sight. Yeah. Was that CNC Music Factory, that thing you just did there, Miss Althea? Your reading of the Joey Belladonna story was somewhere between a Southern Baptist minister sermon and and an adult erotic fiction. I love that. That should be on my tombstone. Shane Diablo, somewhere between a Southern Baptist minister's sermon and an adult erotic fiction. I want whatever skincare regime El Nuno B is using. We're both born in the 60s. Same year. Oh, really? And damn, damn it. Oh, Jesus, man. My reading is just terrible. And damn him for still looking so beautiful. Yeah, he looks good. Have you seen that kind of trend they're doing now where the hot older people, they do the Instagram video where they're standing there sexy like, and then the year pops up and you're always like, wow, you look great. Like, it's 1961 or something. They got the gray in the hair and they're, just partying it up. Did my comment from episode 10 disappear? Yes, it did. I was wondering about that, why you weren't on there. And I'll tell you guys this right now. If you do anything with a link, it, for whatever reason, it puts it right in the spam thing. So yes, it did. I did not see it. I didn't know what you were doing there. If not, like I didn't have anything to say, insert evil hysterical laughter here. By the way, the wrestling tag team you were trying to think of was the Road Warriors. Yes. It was Animal and what? Yes, the Road Warriors was it. So, bling, there's the heart for Miss Althea. Jolly Jake Lavelle. Keep jive talking, my friend. 07. There is way better footage of Adrian and Richie performing Wasted Years. I saw it a few days ago. Oh, and yes, the bass player is a female. That's his wife, and she was very beautiful. And I liked looking at her. Jolly Jake, there you go. Plingo. Oscar, he made me spit up a drink today with a comment that he made, but I can't remember what it is now. I pinned it in a video. It is 50 degrees, or 50 up of cameo if Joey says he is that, what's the arrow up mean? Is it 50 off cameo if Joey says he is from Chief Big Way as opposed to Anthrax? That's a very good point. If you go in there and you get a cameo from Joey Belladonna, but you say, I want it from Big Chief Way, which is his cover band, and we've done a video autopsy on that where they're playing in the little, what do you call that? The little hut that goes over a hot tub? Toboggan? I can't remember what it's called, but they're inside of it. They're playing in a small town. And if you go get on Cameo and you're saying, I want Joey as Big Chief Way, you should get $50 off. If it's $100, there should be 50 off. If you say, I want you to say Joey Belladonna from Anthrax, well, then he can charge full price. So that's a very good observation. Bling! There you go, buddy. And then we got Mike Buchanan here. Here we go. Richie Kotzen has been more like a session guitarist over the years. From Poison to Mr. Big to the Winery Dogs, which is a super group unto itself. I think we've done some Winery Dogs. With Billy Sheehan and Mike Portnoy, yes. With Smith Kotzen, also another super group. He's doing some great music. Check them out if you haven't already. Adrian Smith, we all know from Iron Maiden. And we all remember the ASAP video of Smith doing the song Silver and Gold you reacted to. Yeah, we've done that. ASAP, Adrian Smith As Soon As Possible band. Video, Silver and Gold you reacted to. So we knew he could sing. Yeah, and he can. I mean, if I have to pick who would I rather hear do Wasted Years, it's probably going to be Bruce Dickinson. But that is it, my friends. That is it for this episode. I'm going to try something here. It turns off, and I don't want to restart all of this. That's the problem. But to love you all, and thank you for tuning in to Jive Talkin with Shane D. Episode 12. What was it? 06? No, it was 68. These buttons are weird on here too. Pardon me, guys, while I get this figured out. Oh, that's got something, right? Let's try it. Jesus. There we go. That's one more. Oh, that's got something right there. I like that. And let's go ahead and find a beat for this. Let's see, 44? Are we feeling good with that? Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. 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 Jive Talkin.